Hello, I'm Kendrick Calkins, and I work here in the newsroom writing science stories. Welcome to Brains and Beakers, a regular gathering where we learn new fantastic knowledge about science. Today, we have a man of science and a man of letters who has been called the perfect modern reporter. He's written for the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and is now a senior editor at the Atlantic magazine, where he runs their technology section. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexis Madrigal.
Thanks. I have brought, and this is the way I like to think about stories, I brought a bunch of different things, which we're going to go through, and we're going to come up with some story ideas out of these things, all right? So I'm just going to start. I'm not going to tell you anything about them at first. I'm just going to show you what some of them are. So we got some maps over here, Google Glass, in case you hadn't seen that, some shoelaces, tape measure, Q-tip, little toothpaste. Whenever I'm looking around my house and I just see objects in my house, like I was thinking about this one, and I'll just do it. Like, this is literally sometimes my process when I can't think of story ideas. I'm like, oh, Kids Crest, like mini tube of Kids Crest. I'm just gonna try and do like 10 stories off the head of like things that you could write a story about this thing, right? So right, it's kids version, right? So you can write a story about like, is kids toothpaste actually any different? Is the same stuff in it, or is it purely just like a branding thing? You see, some of those are science stories, some of those are business stories, some of those are technology stories. How many people have heard of this?
Heard of it.
Heard of it? Heard of it?
Does it not have lenses?
Well, yeah, I mean, the lenses are, so when you see, sometimes when you see people, I feel so embarrassed wearing these. I mean, well, you guys tell me, what does it look like to you? Yeah, well, I kind of am, right? So you can say like, hold on. Take a picture, there we go. And now it just like took a picture of you guys. Right? It's totally, so, and you can like talk to it, so you can be like, okay, Glass, record a video. And now it'll record a video for the next 10 seconds. The question would be, like, what kind of stories could we write about this? That would be like beyond, you know, this is terrible or this is awesome, which is like what most stories about this are.
Well, I read this, I was doing the story on cheating technology.
Yeah.
And apparently like a lot of colleges have banned Google Glass before it even came out. And so kind of like a story about who doesn't want it, like anywhere near, because like, is it too far into the future?
Right. And how you ban it, right? Like, how do you stop people from wearing these? Q-tip, common Q-tip. What could we possibly write about? Something involving this, processes involving this.
Are Q-tips helpful or harmful to your ears?
Totally, because I've heard both things, right? That's like a total classic health story. Also, yeah, and piggybacking off of that, like, how did we start putting these in our ears? Right? Like, how did this happen? Like, to me, I actually love it, but I'm also like, how did this, like, what a weird thing.
Why do you get that, like,
Tingling feeling?
Yeah, that feeling, that sensational feeling whenever you stick a Q-tip in your, and you're just like in there for like...
Totally, what is that? Yeah, where you're just like a cat, like, or like a dog, like scratching his leg. Yeah, what is that, and why, like, nothing else works like that? Oftentimes, you're not gonna find it, like, outright wrongdoing. You're gonna find that someone built a system, largely with science and technology, that allows really terrible things to happen, even when it's, like, no one's fault. And I think, sometimes when I think this stuff is kind of, like, silly, I also end up thinking, like, it's kind of silly. On the other hand, you're sort of, like, training for when you need to know how to recognize these systems and, like, follow how they work in, like, other contexts.